We'll continue our discussion on export discourse. If you are joining us on Facebook, if you are joining us on YouTube, if you are joining us on TikTok, welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome, 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 welcome. Thank you very much for joining again today. Hoping to have an interesting conversation with you as we discuss export. But remember, this program is not only about export. The program is also about import. As a matter of fact, the program is about answering your question as far as import and export is concerned. Abefe, good day. Thank you very much for joining. T Praise, thank you very much. Richmond, thank you very much for joining. Good day, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are joining from. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Wherever you are joining from, either from TikTok, from YouTube, or from Facebook. Thank you very much for joining. If you're on YouTube, please drop a comment. I can see someone on YouTube. Drop a comment. Let's know where you're joining from. If you're on YouTube, kindly drop a comment. If you're on Facebook, also drop a comment. Let's know where you are joining from. If you're on YouTube, if you're on Facebook, kindly drop a comment. Let's know where you're joining from. Thank you very much, Ogona. Thank you very much, Navy Diva. Lady Diva, thank you very much, everyone, for joining. You're welcome to another episode of Export Discourse. And on Export Discourse, what we try to do every week is to answer questions about what we discussed a day before. We currently started discussing getting ready for export under the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. Getting ready for export under the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. We started discussing that on Thursday, but I will still continue my conversation around how to find buyer abroad. I'll still continue my conversation around how to find buyer abroad. And so far, so good. We have discussed some protocols that should guide anyone trying to go into export business. So far, so good. We have discussed some protocols that is supposed to guide those going into export business. So today, our discussion will be around last week we talked about designing catalog. We also talked about ensuring that you have a budget. This week we'll talk about finding buyer's contact does not translate to contract. Finding buyer's contract. Finding buyer's contact does not translate to contract. Finding buyers contact does not translate to contract. You know, some people think because they have the contact detail of the buyer, then they have a contract. So for example, if you use a platform like TradeKey, if you register there as a paid member, if you register on a platform like globalbuyeronline.com, now if you register on those platforms, you will get contact detail of buyers. If you register on those platforms, you will get contact detail of buyers. But getting contact detail of buyer does not translate YouTube. Okay, I'm back on YouTube. Having contact detail of buyer does not translate to contract. Contract. The difference between that is R. Someone called that R relationship. Someone called that R relationship. And it's basically saying that it takes relationship to convert contact to contract. It takes relationship to convert contact to contract. So having contact detail does not translate to export contract. Please remember, this is Export Discourse. It hosts every Friday by 5 p.m. Nigerian time. Kindly drop your comment in the chat and share the link with your friends, colleagues, and allies who might be interested. Share with your colleague and ally who might be interested in export business, both on Facebook, on TikTok, and also on YouTube. So if you have questions related to international trade, feel free to drop your questions. If you have questions related to international trade, feel free to drop your questions. All right, let's continue. So I was talking about the fact that having contact does not translate to contract. Most businesses in the world that have exported successfully or exported successfully and sustainably over a long period have something in common. And that involve having a representative abroad. That involve having a representative abroad. Having a representative abroad is a very, very important and vital aspect. A very, very important and vital aspect for anyone that is trying to go abroad, that is trying to export successfully and sustainably. Having a representative abroad. And I've monitored data for export for a while, and this is a very all over. In fact, it's not just in Nigeria or Africa, even in other parts of the world, this is a common characteristic you find among businesses that have not just exported successfully, but have also exported sustainably. That have not just exported successfully, but have also exported sustainably. Being able to export not just successfully, but also sustainably is as a result of being ready. So the question is, how do you know a business that is ready? What are the protocols that need to be observed for a business to be deemed ready? What are the protocols that need to be observed for a business to be deemed ready? We've been looking at it for a while now, and the discussion today is around finding buyer's contact does not translate to contract. And this is because you need relationship to be able to get them interested in doing business with you. Some business owner and export manager are eager to get contact detail of buyers abroad. And this is because they assume that by getting the contact of a buyer abroad, it can automatically translate into a contract from that buyer. It's important, therefore, to note that there is a protocol to converting contact to contract. And this is very important if the seller is yet to meet the buyer physically. Particularly if the seller is from a developing country in Africa, for example. If for a developing country in Africa, for example, that then become a challenge. A big challenge, I must say. Why is it a big challenge? It's a big challenge because you need to demonstrate credibility. You need to demonstrate credibility to be able to convert contact to contract. Buyers don't want to lose money. They want to be sure of who they are dealing with because they are aware of the challenge, particularly when you are dealing with people you don't know. Now, that brings me back to what I've spoken about before, and that is the fact that there are so many internet fraudsters that makes it difficult for the buyer to just trust you because you say you can export. You will need to earn that trust. And one of the easy ways to do that is meeting them physically. If you cannot afford that, the way to overcome it is to have a representative abroad. The way to earn the trust, to make them know that, okay, if he has a representative in US, in UK, in Canada, in Australia, in a country where maybe they even reside, it gives a lot of confidence. Number one, it shows they have someone to hold responsible if there's an issue. Number two, it shows they are not dealing with a fraudster. They are dealing with real individual with potential to be able to do business with them. The idea basically is that to convert contact detail to contract, you need to build relationship. Now, I've had a lot of people tell me, I've registered on a Global Buyer Online. I registered there, I called them, I send them a mail, they are not responding to my mail, they are not responding to my call. That is why you need Eureka Pack. The reason for putting together the Eureka Pack is to help you solve this particular problem of them not responding to your messages, because you don't understand the fact that by just being black, by just being an African, you are a potential fraudster until you prove otherwise. So this particular protocol we're talking about today involves, first of all, using the contact to build relationship with the buyer abroad before export contract can be obtained from them. Before you can get the export contract from them. Before export contract can be obtained from them. Before export contract can be obtained from them. And this is very, very important. Another important protocol I would like to talk about today is giving out regular information. Giving out regular information. Giving out regular information about your product can boost credibility. Giving out regular information about your product can give credibility. Giving out regular info about your product can give credibility. What are you selling? What are you selling? How much information is available for the potential buyer about what you are selling? For example, having a Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube channel to showcase what you're selling, to talk about the benefit of what you are selling, to talk about the benefit of what you are selling is extremely important. Is extremely important. A Facebook page, a YouTube channel where you talk about it. Because when you talk to a new buyer, one of the easy ways to check you out is to go and check your social media handle. What are the things you are posting on your YouTube channel? What are the things you are posting on your Facebook page? What are the things you are posting on your YouTube channel? What are the things you are posting on your Facebook page? How are those things informing potential buyer about what you are selling? Don't forget to drop your question and comments on Facebook, on YouTube, and on TikTok. It's an expert discourse. So if you have questions, comments, concerns, issues, feel free to drop them in the comment section. And of course, I will try as much as possible to attend to them. So continue the conversation. Credibility is important consideration for buyer who is looking for good quality product from suppliers abroad. This makes the buyer to conduct research on the product and company producing it in order to establish its credibility. In order to establish its credibility, the intending exporter therefore need regular posting on his website. He needs to regularly post information on his website. He needs to regularly post information on his website. It needs to regularly post information on his website, on his YouTube channel, on his Facebook page. Why? Why is this important? Why is this important? To build credibility. If you have been posting for months, they know you are not just coming in. So you can be trusted to a very large extent. So then the exporter needs regular posting on his website and social media pages, information about the company and product in order to build credibility and gain acceptance of prospective buyers, so that when they go online to check, they can find enough information about you, and that gives them it boosts your credibility. Actually, it shows them that you can be trusted, you know what you're doing, and then they can decide to go ahead and work with you. And by the way, some of the things you have posted in the past might help you solve their problem because you are able to answer their questions. Might help you solve their problem because you are able to answer their questions. So the intending exporter needs to regularly post. The information should be verifiable, should include but not limited to testimonial of those that have bought the product, what make it better than other similar products from competitors, social impact of product supply chain on the vulnerable people in the society, and corporate social responsibility of the company, to mention a few. Corporate social responsibility. Corporate social responsibility. Do you know some buyers will do business with you because they see your business as being responsible to the society, and the fact that you are responsible and responsive will be the reason why some buyers want to do with you, want to do business with you. You'll be the reason why some buyer want to deal with you, want to respond to your message. Because you're demonstrating that you are a credible organization and you can be trusted. The fact that you are supporting in the society gives them the kind of confidence they need. This is why everything you are doing as an organization must be documented. You don't know when it will be needed. You don't know when it will be required. You don't know when it will be needed. You don't know when it will be required. Very, very important. All that you post about yourself, your business, and your product online boosts credibility you have as a seller and increase the possibility of selling a deal, of sealing a deal with the prospective buyers. Possibility of sealing a deal with the prospective buyers. So let me take your question today. Comment, question before we close today. This is Expert Discourse, and the goal of the conversation we have every week is to be able to help answer your questions. So what are your questions? I'm waiting for your comment and questions. If you are joining us for the first time, we have a live session on Zoom every Thursday by 5 p.m. Nigerian time. And that program basically educates Yuli Media. Good evening. Thank you for joining. Educate everyone about what we do and about export in general. We just finished a series on export readiness. We just finished a series on finding buyers. Now we are having a series on export readiness. And it's called Getting Ready for Export under the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. There has been a lot of stakeholder engagement around the AFCFTA. Trading has started under AFCFTA, but the extent is very low because not every African country have subscribed to the payment platform to enable them get payment in their local currency. All right, thank you very much, everyone, for being able to join today. Unfortunately, we didn't have questions as usual today. That's fine. Thank you very much. We'll continue next week again. Next week, I'll continue the conversation on some of the protocol required if you are looking to get buyers. Someone said, can corporate social responsibility of a company within a host community boost? Yes. It shows your that you are socially responsible. And in the, I'm sure you have heard about the Sustainable Development Goal. The Sustainable Development Goal of UN. The Sustainable Development Goal of UN is aimed at ensure that we build an inclusive world in which we are conscious of our environment, both the people, the animals, and the plants in our environment. We are conscious of both the people, the animal, and the plant in our environment. So a business that is socially responsible is attractive to buyers. Someone said, in developing a website, can you please recommend material where one can derive inspiration? Please send me a mail. I can give you ideas. But you need to let me know, what do you want to be selling? Then I can give you an idea of things you should consider. So Yuli Media, you have my email. Send me a mail. Let me know what you want to be selling, and I can give you an idea of what you can add on the website. So let me give you an example of how you can show you are building a sustainable business. If you are into production and you have women in the people, particularly women in the interior, And those women in the interior, in the villages, you are engaging them. You show evidence of how you are supporting them and their family as they work with you. That is what they are looking for. Scholarship you are giving to their children. If you have to build school for them, if you can afford it, whatever it is you are doing to support them, how many of the women you are hiring, gender equality is necessary for a sustainable world. All right, thank you very much, everyone, for being able to join today. See you next week as we continue again. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And bye-bye. Bye-bye. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.